Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday in the Word. And it's important that when you're in the Word, in church, or in those kind of places, that you actually pay attention. You know, I can't remember which president it was, but the president and his wife had been to church and they were headed home, and she could tell he had something else on his mind, that he really wasn't listening to the sermon. And so she said to him, "What was the sermon about?" And you don't get to be the president usually by not being very sharp. And he said, "Well, it was about sin." And they drove a little farther, and she was not going to let it die. She goes, "So what about sin?" He goes, "Well, we're against it." And you know, I'm thinking maybe the sermon that week was out of 1 John chapter 3, because that's what it's about. It says, "But the Son of God came to destroy the work of the devil." Not fix it or adjust it, to destroy it. To destroy it. I don't know. I think sometimes we settle for just changing this or that. And God says, "No, destroy it. Wipe it out. I will wipe it out." So he came to destroy the works. Those who have been born into God's family do not make a practice of sinning because God's life is in them. So they can't keep on sinning because they are children of God. So now we can tell who are the children of God and who are the children of the devil. Anyone who does not live righteously and does not love each other does not belong to God. But I want to go back up here to it says, do not make a practice of sinning because God's life is in them. So they can't keep on sinning. How do you stop sinning? This is a huge, wonderful, great theological question that if I had the answer, do you ever have the answer but you don't know exactly how to implement it? How many people do you think would like to stop sinning? I hope all of your hands are up. Sinning is breaking the laws of God and doing things that hurt our relationship with God, that hurt our relationship with those around us, and that are destructive, those kind of things. How do you stop sinning? You know, I remember Nancy Reagan at one point talking about drugs. Just say no. Just say no. You know, in principle, it sounds like an awesome thing, but I've met a lot of people who have been through a lot of recovery programs, and they still struggle on just saying no. In fact, it's interesting because Paul in Romans chapter 7 said, "Here's my problem. The things I want to do, I don't." In other words, the good intentions. I want to read my Bible. I want to pray. I want to live victorious. I want to not get involved with sin. I don't want all that stuff in my life. He said, the things I want to do, I don't do, and the things I don't want to do, I do. You see, Paul said, I have that same sin issue that all of you have. That same issue, that same struggle, that same battle. How do you stop sinning? Because, first of all, do you want to stop sinning? That's a valid point. Do you really want to stop? Because there is a season of pleasure in sin. Do you want to stop? And then you think, well, okay, why do I want to stop? Number one, you stop sinning because you value your relationship with God greater than your pleasure from your sin. Say, okay, so when you begin to look at that sin and that calls out to you, say, do I want that, or do I want to keep a healthy, great relationship with God? And then the other part of it is sin. It says, for the wages of sin is death. The wages of sin is death. That all who sin and fall short, they're going to end up in hell. So you want to stop sinning, but you struggle. And Paul said, "Oh, wretched man that I am." But in Romans chapter 8, he said, but through God. Greater is he that is in me than is in the world. The way you stop sinning is you fall in love with God in a greater way until you value that relationship more than, you get more pleasure out of your relationship with God than you do your sin, your wrong practices. And you begin to break that, and you begin to get people around you that help you, that hold you accountable, say, hey, are you still sinning? That's honestly, are you saying? You know what? In fact, John earlier on says if we say that we are without sin, that we're a liar and the truth is not in us. That until we go to be with Jesus, we're going to struggle with sin. But hopefully, we begin to get new and victories, more victories, and become an overcomer. So, hey, thanks for being a part of Wednesday in the Word. See you at church tonight, or see you tomorrow at Thursday Thoughts.